Weird science
is the revolution.
Jackpot and Black Cat #1 is written by Celeste Bronfman, art by Emilio Laeso, and I think people will laugh at the thumbnail. How can you ruin a character that was terrible to begin with? Well, Celeste Bronfman will show us how, because there's pretty much one thing that might be interesting about the character of Jackpot, and that is completely thrown out the window in this issue. We'll get to that, but it is ridiculous. But when we get into this, you end up having a problem. There's a lot of problems in this issue, but one of the bigger problems is that Celeste Bronfman is going to fall into the trap that a lot of big two writers are doing recently. They are, having a new character. The character never struggles. The character is ultra capable immediately, and we never see a learning curve. Now, Mary Jane getting powers through a slot machine gauntlet, the Jackpot powers, where you spin the wheel and whatever comes up, random power, boom, that's what you have, and that's what you should have to deal with. Get to that in a minute. But the idea where we've never really seen her struggle much. In fact, I think that there's only been really like one time that she ended up having a lot of problems was when she spun the wheel and had to fight demons and she's shooting cotton candy out of her hands. That's like the one time that we struggle, but we've never seen her train. We've never seen her, get used to the powers, get used to anything. And also in this, she's just zipping around at the beginning in rocket boots, flying over New York City with a narration that if you don't know, and pretty much Celeste Bronfman is not going to let you in on anything that came before, it seems like Mary Jane has had these powers for 80 years and talks like Batman. I'll read just the beginning here, and I'm going to try not to get too into this. I ended up talking about this issue with my man Zach on our Marvel Comics podcast that comes out every Saturday night. And we went over 30 minutes talking about this nonsense of an issue. That's why I'm here to do a solo deal, because we went on and on and on because there's so many things wrong with this. I'm going to try to make it a little more tight here, but if you want to hear us expanded coverage, go listen to that. But you start out with Mary Jane talking. Now, tell me if this is classic Mary Jane. There's a calm breeze in New York City tonight. It's quiet, peaceful. That's what sets me on edge. The sounds of screams echoing through the night means people are reaching out for help. But silence means they don't even know they're in danger yet. The trick is to get ahead of it. Use the silence to your advantage. The classic Mary Jane, right? It's ridiculous. And in the meantime, you have Black Cat, who is in Chance's invisible flying casino, and she has just as bad narration. Now, we'll get to the whole process of what's going on in this issue, but the problem I have with the plotting and the problem I have with the story as well is that Celeste Bronfman has tunnel vision of just what she needs or wants her characters to do, and because of that, everything feels forced. Nothing feels right. Transitions and how you get from one scene to the next feel just ridiculously dumb. And there you go. There's so much wrong with this. I do like the art. I'll tell you that. The art's pretty good. But while Mary Jane's zipping around, she's got rocket boots. Some people were questioning, including me, of how she was flying in a bunch of other issues. At least I see here, she has like Tony Stark rocket boots. So she's zipping around talking like Batman while you end up having Black Cat going. And what is Black Cat going to do? She's in Chance's casino. We know she's going to rob it. Unfortunately, nobody in the casino seems to bat an eye that Black Cat in her Black Cat costume is just, waltzing around. There's no way that Chance sees her and doesn't react, but he doesn't. She walks right by him. But in the meantime, the force deal is that, lo and behold, Black Cat is going to try to steal Chance's money. She's not doing it for herself. She's actually being told by an app, the Obscura app. That is something that it's set up through social media, and then you have somebody, a nefarious figure behind the scenes, is making normal people and Black Cat do crimes, commit crimes for them. And they blackmail you. We'll find out the blackmail in a minute as well. But what she ends up doing, she walks right by Chance, who, again, doesn't bat an eye. You got to think out the scene, Celeste Bronfman. There's no way that Chance is going to see Black Cat in the casino and not bat an eye. Because even if she's not there to steal, she also gets things wonky with her luck deal. There's no way that anybody who is running a casino would want to see Black Cat in that casino, but he doesn't even notice. And seriously, how do you not notice? I mean, I don't want to be awful here, but seriously, she walks by Chance and their bodyguard and ends up just whoop in the front pocket, just grabs out his key card and then shuts down the power to the whole ship. Now, in that, you would think that shutting down the power to the ship would maybe cause the ship to crash, and that might work out better in this whole situation, but it doesn't. All it ends up seemingly doing is turn out the lights, screw up the invisibility because it is an invisible ship that goes around here. The invisibility, goes out. And also it seems that the vaults with all the monies, they open, which is ridiculous. And I think Chance is a little smarter than that. So it's almost playing like Die Hard, but it's like not even trying hard, if you know what I'm saying. So what happens then is the ship, it comes out of the invisibility cloak done, and it's about to hit Mary Jane. If this didn't happen, Mary Jane's dead. She has a bug on the windshield, but she sees this ship come out. Paul, unfortunately, is involved, and he says, oh my God, the invisibility cloak must have went down. So what would happen here? Mary Jane going around Jackpot, she ends up saying, I better check the ship to see if everybody's okay. Why? Why are you deciding here in a comic book universe that all of a sudden a ship comes out of invisibility that can be suddenly seen and you think you have to check to see if everybody in it is okay? Doesn't even make sense, but there's the tunnel vision because Mary Jane has to get into the ship. But does she? Because she doesn't really do anything. And here's where the character's ruined. This is the big thing. Random powers. This is the only interesting thing about this book, is to see if Mary Jane, when she spins the wheel, if she can use a power, right? So she ends up spinning it. She wants to get in. She gets armor. So she spins it. Also, just to point out, it's Bell 7 Lemon, armor. Please, you even had it where Zeb Wells, who's a hack, he ended up doing in this week's Amazing Spider-Man, at least show like a symbol, show armor, 7 armor. And then you're like, okay, at least it's a visual. But she ends up getting what looks like a construct armor. It says armor, not bad, but it won't get me through the hole. Spinning again. There it is. There is the complete destruction of this character. She can spin again. That it throws out everything. It's not a random power anymore. It's random power until you get what you want. That ruins everything. There's the fun is out the window, the tension out the window. She spins again and then gets portals and then says, portals, that'll do. Twice in this book, she respins, and each time the second spin is a charm. She ends up getting something that she wants in the second deal. This is not supposed to be a power set that you get what you want. It's supposed to be random. If you want to have the power set, get what you want, just have her be able to grab powers from anybody. Just have her say, I want portals, boom. But it ruins it. It's so bad. So she goes in this casino. In the meantime, Chance is all upset. Oh my God, they're going to steal my money. Somehow he thinks that the best way to play this is to get the money and transfer it to his escape pod. It doesn't seem like the ship is crashing. So all you really have to do is get 3 guards and stand in front of the vaults. Then nobody could do it. But no, he's going to transfer the money. That doesn't matter anyway. And what Mary Jane is then going to do with Paul's advice is they're going to look at the surveillance deal to see who shut off the power. But why do you need to know that? Why is Mary Jane involved here? She's not doing anything. She goes in. This is Chance. He has his casino. Yeah, there are villains there, but he is running a casino. The power went out, and somehow you're there? And everybody's running around. They're all yelling for things and whatever. And then when the surveillance, Mary Jane goes and she's, connecting blue wire to red. But it's only to look at the surveillance. She finds out, oh, it's Black Cat. What does that do? Well, Black Cat ends up grabbing the money and goes off. She gets an escape pod, and she is going to leave. And then you get one of the craziest, worst bits of dialogue I've ever read. You spend 2-3 panels for Black Cat to say, and this is supposed to be a cool moment. This is a wow, oh my God, Celeste Bronfman gets Black Cat. Black Cat's so cool. It's so bad. There are certain people in this world who count down from 3. This is what Black Cat says, because, she's always on the go. They have too much time on their hands. I've always been more of a 2-1 girl myself. So the people who go 3-2-1, they're lame. Oh my God, look at these losers. They have so much time on their hands. 3-2-1. I go 2-1. How can you write this and actually think that it's something? In the meantime, she doesn't have to count at all and has spent more time telling us about this than 2-1. All she was doing is pressing a button on autopilot. She actually presses one button. You don't have to count. I'm one of those guys that just go in and hit autopilot. So she hits the autopilot. Mary Jane ends up stopping the ship with her butt, and seems to be, but doesn't even have a butt joke. Like, hey, sorry to butt in. Doesn't even do that. Ends up saying, mind if I catch a lift? So we go from there, and I got to speed things up. This is nonsense. So they take Black Cat back to the Paul and Mary Jane's apartment, and they ask, why were you stealing from Chance? And then in the meantime, actually mention, oh, you made me, Black Cat saying to Mary Jane, you made me give all this money to charity, but you let me keep some of it. That doesn't even make sense in the overall story that she was told to do this because of a blackmail. But still, the idea that that's the hero move, you have to throw out the charity. Oh, you mean the money you stole? Seriously, Chance is shady and whatnot, but you kind of did just steal money. And you end up just, because you gave it to charity, it's fine. Nonsense. So they're talking about this. You end up, Black Cat tells all this thing. Oh, this new app, it just kind of goes on your phone and it blackmails you and it sucks. Mary Jane says, oh, well, Paul, he's good at hacking. Let him hack. And she goes, no way. Don't even listen to anything why did she tell him this? She actually says, just forget what I just told you. And she's going to leave because she then says, and this just shows you how bad this is. You end up where Mary Jane says, Paul, can you track these Obscura people? And he goes, yeah, I just need Felicia's phone. And she says, no, if you hack them, they'll hack you right back and spill blood all over this nice rug. There's no rug in that room. What rug? What is she talking about? She says they'll spill your blood all over this nice rug. They're in a room with hardwood floors. There is not a rug to be seen. That's how bad this is. There's the disconnect. I mean, it's such a little thing, but it's so just glaringly stupid that it just blows your mind. She goes off and says, just forget I told you all that stuff that I spent 2 pages to tell you. She goes off and Mary Jane wants to trail her. I think I gotta follow, Black Cat. So she ends up watching as Black Cat goes. She's leaning out of her window and she spins the wheel and she gets water manipulation powers. She says, water manipulation, not right now, and spins again and then is able to morph into this weird, like cartoony ink spot type of butterfly. So again, she didn't like the power she got, water manipulation. So she spins it again to get a better power then. It's not random. It's not fun. She ends up flying then to follow Black Cat, who goes, and we see that Black Cat has a new girlfriend. They have some of the worst dialogue ever. It starts off with, I guess, Black Cat saying she's going to drink some like facial mask, like some chemical mask that you put it. And it's like the joke. She says, this smells amazing. And then her girlfriend says, that's a face mask, you heathen. And then she says, well, then my esophagus is going to be very hydrated and rejuvenated. Doesn't make sense. What is this dialogue? Then you go to then, hey, should we order food in? Should we call and get some food? And the girlfriend says, I don't know. Isn't all that plastic packaging just going to end up in the ocean? Really? This is what we're doing? Because then, and you could say, well, she says, I'll make something. So then the Black Cat says, all I've got is steaks. And isn't the meat industry contributing to the extinction of 1,000 of species? First off, you already bought the damn steaks. Just like the damn steaks. And then you end up where the solution to this is the girlfriend says, I guess the question is our love worth all the pain? So what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? You end up where, oh my God, we can't order in because of the plastic and all the oceans. Oh man, the steaks, that's the extinction of species. Yeah, screw it, let's make the steaks. Why are we wasting time with this garbage? So she goes to make the steaks. In the meantime, she yells at one point because they're starving. These steaks are going to take 6 hours to defrost. Seriously, stop. Well, Mary Jane is hiding on the balcony, and you have Black Cat go out. Also, just to point out that at this point, Black Cat has borrowed clothes from Mary Jane for no real reason. I mean, there was no real reason for her to need any clothes. She ended up at one point, she had sweatpants and a sweatshirt on. Looks like she lost the sweatpants at this point, but still, it's Black Cat where I guess Celeste Bronfman's like, I don't want her going around in her outfit, so we got to get a dumpy-looking sweatshirt on. You know, she could just change and wear regular clothes, but she's there and like, I knew you were following me. And you get this deal. Again, if you haven't been reading things, you would think that Mary Jane and Black Cat are besties. They're BFFs for 30 years now. They're not. They did a couple capers together. They were forced into situations. Yes, you did have Black Cat kind of inspire Mary Jane to become Jackpot so we can blame her, but they're not friends. They even say in this, like, hey, the only thing we really have in common is Peter, ex-boyfriend. But yet you have Mary Jane say, like, at one point she's smiling. And Black Cat, why are you smiling? Haven't seen you in love like this forever. Like really? How about never? Because you don't hang out with her. You're not friends. You might be now, but you're not long-term friends. And so she finds out that, yes, indeed, the blackmail that the Obscura app is doing is that they are threatening Black Cat's girlfriend. If you don't do this stuff, we're going to take out your girlfriend, who we have just met. Goofy nonsense dialogue, so I get it, but you don't really have any sort of attachment. If you would have played the game where she still, or the Obscura app still thinks that she's dating Peter, now we have something that you might be able to play with, like the idea of, okay, we don't want Peter to get attacked, even though he can take care of himself, but you have something at least to grab onto. But with this, Mary Jane goes back to Paul. They figure out the Obscura app is connected to this other app. We just get apps, this Life to Extreme app. They're just thrown at you. Zips off to talk to the CEO of now the company, which you can't even have the company be named after the app. Now it's Kinetic Flow, who has the app Life to Extreme, which then had code stolen to make the Obscura app. How many hoops do we have to jump through for nothing? So Mary Jane goes to talk to this guy. This guy ends up in this company where you have to set up that he might be a toxic boss because he makes people work late hours. And then Mary Jane confronts him, and while she's yelling, you did this Obscura app, you're bad. All of a sudden, you get a laser target that goes on. You have this, the guy's about to say, no, the code was stolen by, and he can't say it because, first off, it looks like his brains are scrambled. I don't know what's happening here. But you end up where Mary Jane is then attacked, and all of a sudden it becomes the Matrix. I mean, this whole office is just destroyed. Bullets out of nowhere. Boom, boom, boom. We end up seeing that all these people are now attacking. You can guess at this point it's because the Obscura app has told them, but you get this crew. First off, the idea that this Obscura app and Celeste Bronfman really thinks that just sending a text, take out, kill Jackpot, what is that? Nobody's going to know Jackpot yet. And they're not going to know where she is. Like, it's so bad. It's so forced. So what you get is, I see Casey Jones. I see an old lady with a frying pan. I see some guys running down the street, he's ninja with a katana. And to just think that these people, and also Leatherface, you end up where these people get this text. These people are just running down the street. Like maybe in a crowd. It's like a flash mob. They're running down the street. They're not dancing to Thriller. They're going to be killers. So they end up showing up to attack Mary Jane. Oh no, what am I going to do? And she ends up spinning the wheel. Of course, it's not going to be anything bad. And if it was, she'd respin. What she ends up getting is pretty much Medusa, the Inhuman's power of the hair. So her hair is this big. But how does she know how to use this right away? And also, at points, you don't even know how she even knows what the power is. She's like, she spins it. We don't even see the stop. And she says, this'll work. And then attacks all these people with her hair. But how would she, where's the struggle? Where's the learning curve? And the idea where there's no tension. When these people come in, you know that if she gets a bad power, she's just going to respin. So she does end up, going in the text that these people got, take Jackpot down. Really, that they got that randomly. I feel bad for the old lady who's like, oh, crap, I left my gun at work. I got to grab this frying pan. And when she shows up, can you imagine showing up to this fight? There's a guy with a hockey mask and a hockey stick. You end up having a guy dressed up as a ninja with a katana, Leatherface with a knife, and all you got is your frying pan. You're going to feel real embarrassed. You're going to feel really down. I feel bad for that lady. But she realizes, oh, no. And I like to that she's being attacked by just the complete randos, and she's shocked that it was the Obscura app. This one guy says, I had to come and attack you because they threatened my daughter, right? So she then sees and like, okay, I can't really do much. These people are innocent. So she flies away, rocket boots. She flies away and then ends up getting a text from Obscura herself because this Obscura actually just it's like, if you are old enough, it's like the idea when U2 had that album come out and everybody was pissed because it immediately uploaded onto your phone. That's the Obscura app. It just shows up and says, I underestimated you, Jackpot. You're strong. Instead of taking you down, I'll make you my weapon. And then says, here's the blackmail. Complete a heist for me this afternoon, which it does look like it's nighttime. If you refuse, I'll kill Paul. Please, somebody make a thing where she's typing in, I refuse. Paul's done. It's a winner. This book score would be elevated 8 points if that would happen. But that's not what happened. Because what happens then is Black Cat shows up. And she's like, oh, no, look what happened, Red. And on her deal is the take down Jackpot. Now, at this point, you would guess that this Obscura app mysterious figure would have called off the takedown Jackpot, would have called it. Group text everybody, don't take out Jackpot. Jackpot's off limits because you're going to use Jackpot now, but you didn't do that. So now Black Cat's there. And are we supposed to believe that Black Cat is going to, and I love it too, take down Jackpot? What does that really end up? Are you going to be able to work the semantics of that? It's like the monkey paw. Oh man, I should have said kill Jackpot, not take down Jackpot. Yeah. So at the end, we're supposed to believe that this whole cliffhanger is, oh God, Black Cat's going to take down Jackpot? Please. I mean, here's the best thing that would happen is you end up where Mary Jane, she refuses to help. Paul, he's done. Then Black Cat in the meantime is like, okay, I'm going to get that stupid gauntlet of yours that really has no repercussions or any sort of tension or randomness and break it. Breaks it over the knee. Book canceled. Go. Everybody's a winner. This is awful. There are so many points. I didn't even go into detail about some of the nonsense. It's that bad. But in all, most of my score, which is going to be a 2 out of 10, and seriously, 2 out of 10, and I give the art a 4. That's how bad this is. And the idea of just ruining the character. There's no reason for Mary Jane to be a superhero in the first place, but you threw out what little you had that was interesting or fun. Completely out the window. It is ridiculous. And I ended up looking at reviews for this. I mean, this is the greatest thing ever. I swear. I don't want to tell people what to do. But if you end up where you follow somebody that reviews this and they're like, this is the greatest thing, think about that for a little bit. Please read the issue yourself, too, before you end up even deciding whatever. But think about anybody who would say that this actually does not completely ruin the character and make it completely inconsequential and nonsense. So with that, I got a sore throat now. I'm yelling and screaming, but thanks everybody. Let me know what you think. And if you have a way that you can convince me that this doesn't ruin it or that it's good, please tell me in the comments. I'm not going to yell at you or anything. We can talk about it. Everybody likes talking about comics. We don't need to fight all of that, but I'm going to get out of here. I came in a little under a half hour. I couldn't help it, but that is it. Thanks everybody. And I'll talk to you later.
Weird science is the revolution.